Welcome to another episode of Dr. Brook on the Block. It's time to grab a seat, buckle up, and take a ride with me through the wild, wild west of the Web3 universe, where we're going to learn all about coins and tokens, NFTs and contracts, digital real estate and the metaverse, and so much more. There is a lot to get through on the block, but I am here to pave the way and help you avoid those nasty pitfalls and rug pulls so you don't get hurt. I'm going to also introduce you to some interesting characters along the way. Are you ready? Your ride starts now. Welcome to yet another epic, amazing ride through the wild, wild west of this Web3 universe. If you are brand new here, welcome. One of the things we tell our first riders is that they need to make sure those seatbelts are fastly tightened. We do not want anybody getting hurt along this ride. And for those of you who are returning, you probably already have your seatbelt ready to go, arms and legs in the ride at all times as we embark on yet another incredible journey through this wonderful space. A question I get asked a lot is, what do you think is going to be the future of cryptocurrency? How do you think cryptocurrency is going to pan out through this economy that we're living in? Do you think that there's going to be tokens that go to zero and whatnot? All these different questions around cryptocurrency. And the answer is yes, yes, and yes. There are some cryptocurrencies that will make it, that will not be going to zero. And there's other cryptocurrencies that will be going to zero. But that's not the point. The blockchain does not care what you think about cryptocurrency. So whether some cryptocurrencies make it or others don't is not the premise of today's learning lesson, of today's ride. We are going to be talking about blockchain and the future it is creating. Blockchain and the future it is creating. Now, blockchain, if you've listened to any of the prior episodes, is the foundational piece on which cryptocurrency is built upon, which other NFT projects are built upon. Cryptocurrency and NFTs are an aspect of blockchain technology. Hence the show Dr. Brook on the Block. Dr. Brook on the Blockchain. We're talking everything blockchain. Yes, we talk about cryptocurrencies. Yes, we talk about NFTs, but primarily we want to understand blockchain technology, why it's important, why we should care about it, so that we can then better make investment decisions, whether we choose to invest in cryptocurrency, whether we choose to invest in an NFT project, whether we begin and start and create our own NFT projects, and how to utilize them in our businesses. So those are topics we will be getting into in further episodes, but I want to talk today what the future of blockchain looks like. And I'm utilizing an article that I read recently that talks about the predictions of blockchain technology by the year 2030. Now, unless you're living under a rock, you know that technology is moving faster than ever. We are moving light years ahead of any other technology as we move and get ushered into this space, which is now roughly, give or take, 12 to 14 years, depending on where, which projects you're following in their starting points. But Bitcoin was the first peer-to-peer public blockchain being used. Blockchain technology has actually been around since 1994, but it started getting a lot of light shed on it at the beginning stages of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin started to use this technology, and now here we are. So, what are some of the blockchain predictions for 2030? Okay, first things first. Blockchain will be leveraged for a majority of the world trade. Blockchain will be leveraged for a majority of the world trade. Now, to understand cryptocurrency or to understand blockchain better, you have to understand that this is not country to country economies like we have with our stock market here in the United States, and other countries have their own exchanges and their companies that are publicly traded. But this is a global phenomenon. This is not happening isolated to the United States or to other countries, but this is happening globally. So I have a cryptocurrency or a NFT project and I want to transfer it to somebody else across the globe, I can do that within seconds, within minutes, and that transaction is there. This is a huge aspect of blockchain technology, is that it will be leveraged for world trade. We're able to move things back and forth with ease and quickness. So the biggest thing is the global supply chain in this category, under the category of leveraging the world trading economy. So right now we have, things that are getting boated in, shipped in from China or different countries, or we're exporting things out to other countries. And there's a lot of loss that happens in that process. So it can be very, very chaotic. And so global supply chain is one such promising area where blockchain can actually provide significant business value. So with fraud, errors, all of these things that are conducted through, really chaotic set of paperwork or transactions that aren't necessarily done well, blockchain technology has the ability to really make this a lot more efficient. And so here are some supply chain problems that we can solve with blockchain technologies. So things like counterfeit auto parts, counterfeit medicines, right? There's all sorts of black market medicines that are not real, that you won't know. You won't know. You won't be able to trace back the source. But utilizing blockchain technology, you can easily track back the source to a real product. What about the food supply chain? There's all kinds of things that go in the food supply that we are not knowing, that unbeknownst to us is affecting our health. And we think that just the ingredient label is the ingredient label. But wait, where did that rice come from? Or wait, where did that corn grow? And what is going on here? So, those are things that you can find with blockchain technology. What about all the fake fashion or luxury items that you have to go through this third party authentication site to find out if it truly is real, or maybe you're buying something on a like a eBay or a different website and you don't know if that bag or that product is real. You will be able to trace this back utilizing blockchain technology. The other things kind of like that could be into this category are electronic equipment, medical devices, and whatnot. So one thing that I must say is that issues in this supply chain, we talked about food, we talked about medicine, we talked about auto parts and different aspects. These actual issues, these problems that we are currently facing with supply chain issues are life threatening. They're life threatening mainly because the business ecosystems are fragmented and they're only partially automated. So there's no trusted central authority to certify the authenticity, authentic, oh my goodness, you guys, and track where it's at, right? So blockchain provides a solution for that, the technology, which will bring about like this anti disruption and bring order and act as a force of good and unity in the world. So that's really, really important. The global supply chain issues. One of the big chains, I do have to kind of put this in there, that is doing this right now. One of the big layer one solutions is V Chain Thor. They are a private blockchain that is working to help with these supply chain problems. So, all right, next thing, how blockchain is going to shift things by the year 2030 based on this article. So, frictionless flow and digital asset. So, there will be more trillion-dollar tokens than there will be trillion-dollar companies in 2030. There will be more trillion-dollar tokens then there will be trillion-dollar companies by the year 2030. Okay, Bitcoin at its highest, early or November 2021 was sitting at over $1 billion market cap. $1 billion. So that token alone is already like at $1 billion in 2022, with only 4% of the global economy even looking at it or throwing money into it or investing or utilizing the blockchain that Bitcoin is built upon. And so, I mean, just really think about what that can look like. So, there's currently a race going on between Google, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, those big four conglomerates, Google, Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon, and they will reach $1 trillion value between the four of these. Well, blockchain will have a positive impact on digital businesses, and it will also increase the value in stock markets. So blockchain dramatically reduces the cost of transactions and information flows. You don't have so many fees, and the flow of information is quick and easy. Blockchain also reduces the cost of flows, or sorry, blockchain also favors frictionless flows of tokens and other assets. So trillion-dollar tokens will play a major role. These tokens, which support a digital ecosystem of entities. All right, next one. Blockchain identity for all. By 2030 or even sooner, every individual, you and I, and our virtual and physical assets will have blockchain identities. Blockchain will help improve systems by bringing about many identity solutions. This will help increase privacy and efficiency, decentralize and verify the data collected. It will store information in a single ledger. It reduces the risk of security breaches, and it creates a brand new identity platform which is distributed and is not controlled by a central authority. This actually increases transparency. So, some use cases of blockchain in the identity domain are employment records, tax identification records, government records, certificate and healthcare records, and reputation scores. So this is important because currently, this is all centralized. This is all going, into one big database essentially, and can be easily breached, can be easily broken into, and identity stolen left and right. We have, identity fraud companies and things like that that are helping to try to reduce the inefficiency here. But with blockchain technology, this is an aspect that can actually really provide a real live solution. All right, this is one of my favorite things. And when I read this, I was like, I think this is so cool because while I am sharing this information with you, what blockchain can do by 2030, it doesn't necessarily mean that all of this is going to come to fruition by then. It just means that this is kind of the projection of where we're headed. And we know that in 2022, which we're sitting in now, there is a lot of changes that are happening and a lot of things going on, and big corporations and institutional investors coming aboard, bringing more money and investment into the space. So, companies that are doing amazing, incredible things in the blockchain world are getting massive funding. Recently, Unstoppable Domain, which is a Web3 space that you can store all your wallet addresses. It's like a wallet address place where you can store these addresses, and then you can give a person just your Unstoppable Domain account instead of giving them this long string of numbers and letters to send money to. You're giving them this domain name, and they're able to transfer money straight to you. You'll be able to build websites and actually have a domain presence on the web that you no longer like will have to pay renewal fees for to GoDaddy or to any of the other domain shops. You won't have to continue. It's like you buy the name and that's it. That's it. No longer. You don't have to pay anything more. So, Unstoppable Domains recently just received a funding round and they hit a unicorn status at $1 trillion valuation. That's huge, 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 huge news, especially during a bear, quote unquote, bear market. When we see that kind of stuff that's coming in, we know that there is a big, huge tide shifting and there's more coming. So this is the one that I thought was my favorite, or not I thought. This is one that is my favorite that I think blockchain is really going to do a lot with, and that is considerable improvements in the global standard of living. Considerable improvements in the global standard of living. So we know that today, poverty and income discrepancies are some of the hardest problems which are tackled by humanity. More than 10% of the total world population, which amounts to more than 750 million people, 750 million people are living their lives on less than $2 per day. Okay, 750 million people are living on less than $2 a day. Currently, right now, there's 4%. So it's like, I think it equates to like 3.8 million people globally that are utilizing blockchain technology. So even that number is way less than the people that are living in poverty. Imagine more of us mass adopting blockchain technology and having this benefit, which we're going to get into. I'm going to get into some subcategories of that, the global cost of living being impacted positively through blockchain technology in just a second. But just imagine those 750 million people, if those people alone entered the space. And I'm not talking merely like throwing money into tokens, because if they're living on $2 a day, they may not have the funds to invest in the same way somebody, from the United States might be able to throw some extra cash into some tokens and kind of play around. So this, we're going to get into how they're going to be able to do this. So 200 or 2 billion, more than 2 billion people do not have access to financial services. So we have 750 million people living like below 200 or at $2 per day. And then we have 2 billion people out of the 8 billion that have no access to financial services. So they don't have a bank account. They're considered what is called unbanked. So they won't get access to loans. They won't get access to deals that they might want to invest into. All of these things. Blockchain technology has the potential to reduce the poverty gap considerably. And then these are the three ways, the subcategories in which this is going to happen, or which in ways that it can happen. So this can happen by one, reducing corruption. It creates transparency of official records, details of all assets, and including land will be recorded on an immutable, meaning tamper-proof, transparent, and secure digital ledger, which is completely open for the public to see. The uncertainty associated with any asset reduces its traceability potential and asset price. Creating a distributed asset tracking system will help in increasing global wealth. Sorting out this problem will have major positive financial implications on the global economy. Okay, so the fact that corruption will be reduced, there's already so much corruption going on left and right. You don't even need me to like go into any of that. You can see it even in your local community, maybe in your, local, in your job setting, maybe in other areas that you conduct daily lives, you can see corruption happening. So blockchain, because of its transparency, it's immutable, and it's secure, it's going to help with reducing that corruption. The other thing is financial inclusiveness. I talked about those 2 billion people that are unbanked, that don't have access to financial services. This benefit from blockchain technology utilizing cryptocurrencies and DeFi, decentralized finance, um, will help the unbanked population to get banked. So if they are able to get banked and have these coins and these tokens in their wallets, and they can then they can ask for a loan, put them up for collateral, get a loan, business loan, start a business, better them their lives, do all this stuff. They are able to win utilizing blockchain technology. So by using this, there is no need to rely on a centralized institution. You don't need to go to Wells Fargo or Bank of America to tell you whether you can conduct business or do what you need to do. They can literally do it utilizing cryptocurrency. And there's already a ton of different companies like Aave that are really creating this space for these individuals to get into. So it will provide easy access to a crypto exchange where people can buy and sell cryptocurrencies utilizing their smartphones. And there's already a ton of merchants around the world that are already accepting cryptocurrencies. Fun example here, I have a vendor that I use for supplementation in my office with my patients that allows you to pay in either Bitcoin, Litecoin, Doge, Ethereum, and a handful of other ones. And I'm like, no, I'm not ready to give up those particular, not that I hold all of those, but I'm not willing to give up the cryptocurrencies that I have. I think they also, as merchants, they know that the price of those particular assets will probably improve over time if they have conviction around those, and that's why they're willing to accept that as payment. So I thought that was pretty cool because it's the first manufacturer, the first vendor that I use that I have seen that happen, and I think that it's awesome. Definitely support them on that. So all right, third thing in this subcategory about really being able to reduce the poverty disparities between the poverty and the rich, or the poor and the rich, is the tokenization of value generating assets. Now, what is that? Tokenization refers to providing ownership of real assets by utilizing digital currency tokens. So, blockchain aids in the tokenization of large scale assets. So, a farmer from a rural area can be a fractional owner of a revenue generating asset, such as a hotel or a gold mine. This will help open up the market to potential investor base to a broader market, reducing the trading time and increase liquidity compared to traditional securities. So, if these farmers, and that's just one example, another example that I like to give is you can then, like, for in the United States, and I'm speaking to my US residents here, the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, makes it or has a law in place that if you do not have over $200,000 a year in revenue, you cannot invest as a investor in a project. So you are not considered at that level. You're considered an accredited investor. So you miss out on a lot of deal flows if you're not at that level. But I know plenty of people that are sitting beyond that 200K income that aren't savvy investors and don't know what to look for and don't know how to like do things. And I know plenty of people on the opposite side who are under that 200K who know how to invest and want to be part of deal flows, but because they don't have the quote unquote accredited status to them, they can't be involved. That's crazy. Blockchain is going to shift this dramatically on its head and allow us to get involved in projects or companies, like whether it's big real estate deals or in this case farming, different like crops, whatever it is, it's going to allow you to have fractional ownership of this thing that you can then earn income from and have true investment opportunities. So, in closing, as we're about to pull this train back into the station for the end of this ride, I want to share with you blockchain is one powerful technology and it cannot be ignored. I have to say that again. Blockchain is such a powerful technology and cannot be ignored. It is impacting a wide array of businesses. Though the landscape currently of blockchain is confusing, it's constantly changing, it's hard to onboard, people feel really stuck and they don't know what to do because people are yelling with their blowhorns, buy this, do this, and they have no idea why. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping you learn the technology, learn the terminology, and really get in on this game so early on so you can financially benefit, but not only financially benefit, you benefit in many, many other ways than just financially because There's communities of people that you can meet in this space. And if you don't even want to meet anybody in this space and you just want to build out your projects and do what you do, like that's available for you too. There's so much blooming, so much growing, so much amazing opportunities here. So though the landscape is confusing and constantly changing, the promise of blockchain is real. It offers capabilities from incremental, small improvements to radical alterations to business models, which aid businesses in extracting business value to make the right investments at the right time. Blockchain technology is truly shifting the entire world and moving us into a more decentralized, a more community-based, a more broader, a more thriving, a more incredible world. And if you don't know about Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of those cryptocurrencies, or you have friends that are reaching out, that are messaging you saying, you're crazy. Why are you in this space? What are you doing here? That this is a scam. All these tokens are going to zero. Go back and listen to this episode. Go back and listen to it again and again and again until it's deeply rooted into what you are doing, how you're speaking to others, because honestly, blockchain technology is where it's at. And like I started with the quote that I heard from Gary Vee, blockchain technology does not care what you think about cryptocurrencies. Blockchain technology is here to stay, and it's shifting the world. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Dr. Brook is out for today, and we will see you on the next ride. Exit to your right. Be careful when you're getting off, and I hope you enjoyed and learned so much today. You made it. Congratulations. That wasn't so bad, was it? I hope you laughed and learned a little bit more about this Web3 universe and how simple and fun it can really be. Would you be so kind as to leave us a review and share it with your friends and family? It would mean so much to get this out to more people as we embark on the greatest transfer of wealth that has ever happened in human history. Can't wait to see you on the next one.